So yeah, this is the bad decision. I don't want it to feel bad about itself though, so we're going to stop calling it that. We're going to call it a gateway to a new opportunity. And yes, yesterday my setup was not good. Trailing wires. What idiot chews gum on camera? Answers on a postcard in the comments by pigeon. Talking to pigeons, we have quite a few in here. It's an open-sided property. I'm not going to show the property because A, I don't have permission yet, and B, there's a lot of other projects here which are not up to me to share. So it's a shared space. Oh, before we go any further, let me take you around the van. Just give you some of the high spots and the low spots. So here's the van in all its glory. I had somebody say to me that it was decrepit and derelict. And yeah, I can see that, but it's a solid van. I mean, it's a solid van. And if you come around here, this side, again, look, you know, that doesn't exactly scream high quality, but everything's done. It's all solid. Solid, solid, solid. Solid, solid, solid. Oh, we're going into the dark bit. Yeah, again. Shared space, all that. The back, a little bit crusty, a little bit rusty, but not deep, deep rust. Just a little bit of, you know, what's that? That'll knock off really easy. The worst bit is in here. If you look, you can just about see it. There we are. You can see the hole all the way through to the outside of the van. And it's just there. That's it. You know. Well, let's have a look down there. Oh, that could be interesting. Maybe. Yeah. No. But yeah. So there's that little bit there, which is realistically on a van like this, it's so minor. There's going to be a lot of T25 people who are looking at this going, oh, I'll swap my van's rust issues for that one. There's lots of T25s out there in hella worse condition. But yes, yesterday we cracked on with the cracking on, and we did this. We made this, which is better. But what you can't see is this van has been painted a number of times. It was white, started out as a white van. Then somebody shot some blue on it, but only up to about here. Then somebody shot some red on it, up to about here. And somebody at some point put some silver on it, and it's the silver that's the problem. Because somebody then shot over the top of it a load of primer. In kind of a selection of primers. The silver is showing through and is really bad to key to, and it wrinkles. And also the red is, I think, polyurethane and not 2-pack, so is pickling and wrinkling and doing all sorts. So what I'm hoping is we can get it flatted off enough, put some filler primer over everything and neutralize all of these paint issues before we shoot the final color, which is going back to white, or sort of. More of that soon. So yeah, today will be about flattening this off, getting this level with the body edge on this edge, and hopefully finishing off this door, which the handle comes off now, so we can flat this all off. There was a small, it was like, I think the door opened onto something and there was a small crease. I got about 80% out from leaning on the inside and kind of wedging it out with some wood along the crease edge, but we've put some body skim. This is final filler, fine filler, as is this, so it's not chunky thick filler, it's just a skim, just to you know, chef's kiss it. One thing about this van, one thing I'm finding, there's wax oil everywhere, like everywhere. I don't know who put the wax oil on. If it's you, thank you very much. Made my life easier. We've got door to do, and I'm hoping we might get started on this rear rear panel, which I've already started some of because this was starting to look a bit yeesh. So we flattened it off and just primed it with some primer, then put some white paint on it just to keep it from going rusty after having killed all the rust. Sanding. My arms ache because I went for a run last night, and yeah, I think anything above here is going to be the challenge, trying to get my arms up and hold a sander and do that. But we'll see. We'll see how far we get. Come on, Vinny, let's get going. So here we are, another day, more dust. Sanding, day 4,726. I've hit that and finished that up. It requires 400 flattening down, and there's a couple of spots that might need a little additional work. Bottom of this door, I got out what I could. There's a little low spot at this edge and the crease, but it required a bit of feathering out, and as with the way of all good things, there's always something unexpected happen, and the finishing filler seems to be going off. So I don't know whether some of the hardness has got into it, but it's certainly going off very, very rapidly. It might be the warm weather, it might be pigeons locally. Pigeon conditions here are variable. Also, it's a shared space. People make noise. There's a compressor that kicks in, so any extraneous background noise. So yeah, bad decisions all round. And keep making bad decisions. I'm just talking to the camera to stop me from having to lie on the floor and sand. I've got a hurty shoulder. I hurt it last year. It seems to now hurt. So, you know, joys of aging. Something new every day is, yeah. Anyway, cracking on before I pass on. Yeah, it's just dust. I've got some new discs. The ones that I got off of eBay, Amazon, they're really good. But I've noticed that the 180s clog really quickly with the bodywork stuff. So I've picked up some 120s, and so it will hit it a little harder. And I'm hoping that we can finish off this panel, finish off the back panel, and hit it with some primer. Then we'll rub it down, then we'll guide coat it, then we'll rub it down, then we'll... But I'm not going to be too weary. I'm not going to be too upset. I could be in an office, but I'm not. Right, let's get on with it. Oh. So we've now got the front door, boom, and the sliding door, boom, boom, sprayed. And that's shadow. So yeah, that's all well and good, and that's the alarm that tells us that this is good enough to be left and move on to another panel. This thing to look at today, we have hit this quite hard. I mean, that's bare metal. We've had to go back down. It sort of had some pitting, but yeah. So this side is now ready to be sort of explored further. I had done this a while back because there was some quite crusty bits here, and I wanted to just stop it from progressing. So I just hit this with some primer and some what have you. We'll stick some lithium grease on there and clean that up when we put the side panel on, which we've got. So we've got all the way from there, all the way up, round the wheel arches, a little bit of edge rust, but it's not penetrated, it's just literally on the crease. and there, and I'm hoping to get to this point here today, so that the entirety of one side and the front is done, and effectively that leaves me with the roof, the back and the other side to finish up with. Although the lights aren't set up over this side yet, this side is considerably better, he says, than the other side for blemishes and dents and all the rest of it. There's a minor kind of imperfection down here somewhere. Here it is. And some sort of dinks and donks, but nothing major, not like having to reconstruct three-dimensional chest around the other side. And then at the front here, well, you know, I've got to get a grille. One of the grills is broken. I'd like to put double headlights in this. Again, maybe a project further down the line. Oddly, although he's in what looks to be terrible condition, very solid, and actually has an MOT. I've actually driven this van. Now, there are a few unresolved issues. The engine oil buzzes, the secondary stage one, where it's revs over 2,100 but pressure under a such and such. However, the person who sold me the van was a mechanic, had a garage, and had said that he'd put an oil pressure gauge on it, and the oil pressure gauge didn't change. And when he put the alarm back in, it just buzzed. So I've changed the sender unit because it was the wrong sender unit for the engine code. And that seemed to cure it, but then it just sort of comes on randomly. So I'm not sure if it's either an earthing issue or some kind of dashboard shenanigans, because we all know how those printed ribbon circuits love being old and inflexible over time. When dinosaurs ruled the earth and glaciers came and went, and distant stars shone in galaxies far, far away before boiling away into the nothingness of space, I was sanding this van. So, yeah. Oh, back at it. Talking about it doesn't get it done. Get it done.
So please like, subscribe, share with friends, tell the neighbours, explain to the dog, send a postcard to a long lost relative overseas. Come back for part 3 and a little bit more about Rebel Zombie and what we're doing.